Autumn has arrived, and with autumn comes one of the most exciting and largest fiber festivals in the United States, Rhinebeck. It's actually called the New York State Sheep and Wool Festival, but everybody knows it as Rhinebeck. And I am fortunate enough to be a vendor at the show, and I'm going to be live in Rhinebeck with a small booth, Building C, Space 7, I believe. I thought you guys would enjoy a video of all the preparations leading up to Rhinebeck. So I've got about 2 weeks before we leave, a little bit less than 2 weeks before we leave, and I still have a lot to do. So I just wanted to show you know, what's going on here, what things I'm working on, and what I'm planning to get accomplished in this short period of time. My name is Jennifer Johnson. I'm with Whispering Pines Farm. My husband and I raise a beautiful flock of soft Shetland sheep here on our farm in Western New York. And I'm also an authorized Magicraft dealer. My goal is to carry everything Magicraft offers here on the farm in inventory so that you don't have to wait to get the tools and equipment that you need to spin your dreams. Before I go any further, I'd like to say thank you for stopping by to watch this video. I hope you find it fun and informative. And if you'd like to help me, please click the like and subscribe buttons below the video. So we're going to be driving down to Rhinebeck to the festival on the Friday, which I think is the 14th. So we'll be leaving early in the morning, so I'll pack the van Thursday night and then we'll head out Friday morning. It's about a 5.5 hour drive to get to Rhinebeck, which is just south of Albany. Then we'll set up the booth on Friday when we get there, and then go out to dinner. And then hopefully I'll have my comb top by then, so I'll be busily making 1-ounce balls of comb top to put in the booth in the morning. And then the show starts Saturday morning at 9. We'll probably get there a little early. It goes from 9 to 4 on Saturday and Sunday. And then Sunday night we will pack up, head on out, drive as far as we can, and then we'll stop somewhere and get some sleep, and then start up in the morning. So we should be home Monday afternoon, back to the flock. So it's going to be a really exciting weekend. It's only the second time I've done the live show. I did the virtual last year, and that was really, really fun. Met a lot of really great people that I still talk with. But yeah, it's going to be super. So anyways, thanks a lot. I hope you enjoy the video, and maybe we'll see you at Rhinebeck. Please stop by and say hello. Our son Andrew is going to be taking care of the animals while we're gone, which there's really not that much to do right now this time of year, as we aren't into the breeding groups yet. So all he's going to have to do is let the ewes out in the morning. They're still on pasture because we've had such great weather and plenty of rain and temperate weather. The pastures are still nutritious, so they're still going to be on pasture. So he'll need to let them out in the morning, and then in the evening they usually come into the barn when it gets dark, and he just needs to lock the door. And we lock the ewes in the barn at night just for their protection. So the ewes are all the adult ewes plus the ewe lambs from this year. Right now I've got them on the furthest pasture in the back. What we're going to do for the Rhinebeck weekend is we'll have moved them to one of the pastures that are closer to the house, so it'll be easier for Andrew to bring them in at night. John Snow, who's in a pen by himself, has got plenty of pasture, so all he's going to need is just a little refresh on his water. And then my yearling rams, so these are rams that were lambs last year, we've got them separated. They're not fully grown yet, and it can get kind of aggressive with rams when you put them together, so we've just kept them separate. But they're on a fresh pasture that we just put them on within the last day or so. So there's really nothing that needs to be done for them. And they probably won't even touch the water. Usually when they're on a rich pasture like that, they get enough water from the grass. And then our ram lambs we have in a separate pen, and we just give them hay. So I just load that up on the four-wheeler and drive it over to their pen. Make sure they have enough water, and then just feed them their hay. So in addition to taking care of my lambs and my sheep, Andrew's also going to be taking care of my 3 little kittens. Oops. Stop playing with my mic. So I've got 3 new babies. You gonna come say hello? We got Gandalf, my little boy, and Sabrina, so she's the one that's mostly white. And then Tabitha. Come here. Come here, baby. Come here, you guys see her? No. And this is Tabitha, so she's got the black nose. So Andrew's gonna be helping me by taking care of them, which is really easy. Come here. So these are little barn kittens. I still have to catch their mother and bring her over to get her spayed. But I found these guys in the barn in the spring and absolutely fell in love with them. So yes, there's their little dodos. There's Tabitha, Sabrina, and Gandalf. I don't know, I just love them all. They all have their own little personalities. I can't stop holding them. I'll miss you guys. I wish I could take you with me. Very playful and sweet. All right, so here we are in the wool cave, and this is, I call it my wall of magic craft, and this I'll be tearing down and packing in the van. All of it's coming to Rhinebeck Festival with me. Sadly, I can't ride my broom because it wouldn't be practical. It'd be a lot faster if I could use my broom to get to Rhinebeck, but I gotta pack everything up in the van, so. So yes, along the top shelf here, I'll be bringing all of the fiber prep tools. So these are cards, combs, blending boards. I've got a wheel skeiner, the hackles, So that stuff's all gonna come with me. There's my beautiful model. She's got the mill spun yarn stuff, so I bring her just to show what you can make with my mill spun yarns. There'll be a nice sign and everything. So yeah, so all this stuff, I got drive bands, I've got bobbins, and then the floor here are my market bags my girlfriend makes with the leftover bags from our feed and grain. I will have some starter drop spindles there. I typically will give spinning lessons if somebody asks real quick, just to kind of get them started. And then over here and all the different flyers. So I'll be bringing those and my lovely flicker cards. And what else? It's kind of a mess because I'm still kind of getting organized. My stylus kits, so those will be coming. I have the lace kits, so pretty much everything. I mean, I'm trying to think of what I won't be bringing. I probably will not be bringing my Fusion engine drums. If you want me to bring you a drum, I've got all but the 96 TPI right now in stock. They're on back order. Just send me a message and I'll bring them with me. So yeah, so this is really the bulkiest part of the labor to pack up. And everything has been, I labeled it because I did a show mid-September and everything was already labeled for that. Here are all my flyer hooks and smaller parts, joiners and little drive bands and stuff. So yeah, I got a ton of stuff. So bring your wheel. Like if you wanted to take a look at, you know, adding some flyers or some new things that you haven't used before, you know, just come and check it out. I got a ton of stuff. It's gonna be so fun. When you stop by my booth at Rhinebeck, you'll be able to take advantage of a very unique opportunity to try all of the Magicraft wheels. I'm going to have each one of them in my booth for you to try, and that would include the Pioneer, which is sort of the starter wheel in the Magicraft line. I'll have the beautiful Rose wheel, and I'll have the Susie wheel. And for those of you that like to spin bulky or art yarns, I will have an Aura for you to try, and the very fetching portable little gem wheel. So I'm also going to have new wheels in the packaging, in the original manufacturer's packaging, if you decide that you'd like to take one home with you from the Rhinebeck show. I like to offer 1 ounce packets of raw fiber from our flock of soft Shetland sheep for those people that want to try working with raw fiber but don't want to commit to buying an entire fleece. So this show, I will have 1 ounce packets of wool from RU Gilly. And I just found this, and I know I'm probably going to tick off some people that wanted to buy raw fleeces from me, but I just found a white fleece from 2020 from RU Ophavia. And that's the year that we named our sheep after the NPR correspondents. So I've got a good, I think I have 18 1 ounce bags of raw fiber locks intact. I try to keep it sort of compact. So these I made the labels, so I like to put a picture of the sheep and the information about the fiber, the micron data and stuff. So I have those made. I just have to put them in the bag, and then I also have to create a barcode label for the Ophavia. So I will have white and fawn 1 ounce raw locks. Sadly, I will not have any raw fleeces. My raw fleeces are all sold out, the ones that I've deemed acceptable for sale. I have a couple raw fleeces, but they're either too short or have a few second cuts, or the quality just isn't really what I like for selling for raw fleeces. So, oh my gosh, this smells really good. All right, so anyway, so this is the 1 ounce packet from Gilly. So I just wanted you to see this. She is a fawn catmugget. She's still on the farm. Here's the card that's going to go with this one. So she's a 2017 ewe, so she is an adult. But her micron data is incredible. If you can see there, so just extremely fine and crimpy. So yes, I'll have a few bags of this at the show. Here's 1 ounce of fiber from Ophavia. She's got a little bolder crimp than Gilly, but still very nice. So Ophavia is white, and her micron is a little bit higher, but it's still very nice and soft. We'll have this at the festival. And the tips are a little bit dirty because it is a raw fleece, so you'll need to wash this fiber at some point, either before you spin it or after. Because it's not washed, it still has that nice farmy smell. I always wonder if people realize how much time is spent actually at the computer rather than with the animals or working in the wool cave. So quite a lot of time is spent when I'm prepping for shows at the computer, because everything that I do transaction-wise at the show goes through my e-commerce site so that I can keep track of inventory and track everything a lot easier. So this is fairly new. And what it requires then is that I have to create a listing and a barcode label for every item that I offer from the shop. So right now I need to label and create listings for a couple of hats that I made from both mill spun and my curly lock art yarn. I've got a bunch of note cards with sheepy pictures on them that I just got back, that I just ordered, and I need to get those listed and create barcodes for those. I've been working pretty steadily on making hand washed, flicked, carded bats. So here's some fawn bats that need to have a label and a barcode. So, and all that stuff happens just at the computer. With this new system, I've got new equipment that I'm using, which includes a barcode scanner and a tablet. And the tablet is just what the app requires for you to transact at pop-up shows. And it's going to be so fast and easy to check out at my booth. All I'm going to do is scan the barcodes that I attach to every item, and then they will automatically appear on the tablet for checkout, and it takes the credit card information, and it's really easy and quick. So this is what my checkout screen looks like. Hopefully you can see it. And here is an example of a bobbin. And so I am just going to scan the bobbin. And look at that, it comes right up on the screen with the price and everything. So that's going to be really fun and super fast and convenient. Automatically calculates sales tax. Because we are in New York State, I will have to charge sales tax. It feels like it's been ages since I've been sitting here at the carding table with you guys, but I still am doing quite a lot of flicking. I've made a couple changes. First of all, I've rearranged the room just to kind of get better organized, and I found this old golfing glove, which I wear backwards, and I'm using that now for flicking just because my hands are getting more and more tired. And then I found this really nice square of leather that I've been using that's really nice and smooth. I mean, it doesn't get caught. Sometimes when I'm doing it with the denim, it gets caught on the denim fabric. So right now, what I'm working on getting flicked for the Fiber Festival is I've got some wool from Mira Reed here. She's a fawn cat mugget ewe. So I'm flicking her. She's got some locks that are really nice and long. So those I'm flicking to turn into bats that I'm flicking, or bats that I'm making on the drum carder, 1 ounce bats of washed, hand flicked wool from Mira Reed. Then I also have fiber here from a ewe that I actually sold, but I was fortunate to be able to buy the fleece from the new owner because she was very careful and coated it and then used the shearer that I use. So this is from a ewe called Sigrun. She's a black ewe. Fleece is really nice and soft. It's kind of hard to process fiber from ewes that I don't have in the farm anymore because I always second guess the decision to let them go because she's just really pretty. Just a really pretty black, very soft and fine. So I'm gonna be I'm spinning some of this into a nice sport weight yarn, 2-ply, and then I'm also gonna be putting this on the drum carder, so this will be with me at Rhinebeck as well. So I gotta get going because I've got quite a lot of wool here to work through. Now Mira Reed had some locks that were very tightly coiled, so I will show you on the wheel what I'm doing with those. I'm going to make one of those really bulky yarns that I just spin from the lock and then ply with some of the lace weight yarn that I created last year during the Good of Work when I was doing that lace weight experiment. So that's what's happening on the flicking table. So this is 1 ounce of washed and flicked wool from Mira Reed, and I just wanted to show you because this is also something new. I got a new drum carder. This is the Magicraft Fusion Engine drum carder, and I will be doing a video on this soon. This is the 128 TPI cloth, and I'm using that just because our fiber is that fine. And this is just me making the bats that I put in my shop and we'll also have at the festival. Of course, they'll be labeled and marked with Mira Reed's photograph. I have to do that still. So one of the things, just a couple quick things about this drum carder that I really like. The feed tray is up on the top of the liquor in, closer to the top of the liquor in, so there's more time for the fiber to get distributed. And another feature of this carder is they have a very large flange that prevents the fiber from getting down into the working parts. It does not use a drive band, it actually uses a gear system, so it's more stable and you don't have any kind of wear, so your tension's always going to be the same. The handle clears the table, so if you wanted to just use it on a tabletop, you can, but it also has 2 clamps. It does come with a burnishing brush, which I don't use that until the very end. I just have found that it contributes to nepping, which is an issue with very fine fiber when you're drum carding it. So I don't use the burnish brush until the very end. And I feed it skin side first now with this carder. It just seems like it distributes a lot more nicely. Another thing that's super cool that I love is the handle folds in, so you know, while you're not working on it, it doesn't get in the way. With my Ashford, I kept on running into the handle all the time. I had little bruises on my hips. The Ashford was a nice drum carder, though I don't want to downgrade the quality of that piece of equipment. And there's a little knob underneath here, so you can move this feed tray forward or backwards. I have it fairly close, only that just because that's the setting that Magicraft recommends. Whenever I have the fiber, I can feel it, I try to slow down a little bit. Again, just to prevent the possibility of creating neps. So I spin from the locks. I think everybody who's watched my videos knows that, but I don't actually spin from the bats, but I just know that a lot of people prefer spinning from processed preps versus from the lock. And I have a YouTube video on spinning from the bats that I will put a little card here if you want to watch that. How I do it anyways, when I do spin from the bat. So this is 1 ounce of fiber I'm loading right now. Another really cool feature about this drum carder is once you buy the frame, if you wanted to go to card like a coarser fiber, you can switch out the drums. Really, it's a really simple process. I've done it a few times already, only because someone has ordered a drum carder and the drum I had installed wasn't the right carding cloth for what they needed. But it's really easy. And there's 3 different drums. There's a 128, a 96, and a 72 TPI cloth. Your liquor in will always stay the same. The tines on the liquor in are extremely rigid. Very different. So this is what I do now, is I just kind of smooth it ever so slightly with the burnishing brush just to make sure I've got everything off the liquor in, and I also release it when I hit this gap because I found that it tends to bulk, just kind of bunches it up there. There's quite a lot more space on this drum. I could do more than an ounce, but since I sell in 1 ounce increments, that's all I need. And then they offer this really nice picker tool. It's extremely strong. The one, again, I don't want to say negative things about other drum carders, but the one I had before that device was starting to bend, whereas this, it's just so strong. I can't imagine that happening. So I do just sort of lever it up off of that metal. The piece that secures the carding cloth onto the drum. I tried to avoid levering it off of the wood. And I do still use the knitting needle to remove it, which I'm not going to do. So you get the idea. So that's something new, exciting. I will have hand spun yarns in the booth at the festival. And the hand spun that I'm working on right now, I'm working on 2 different fleeces. The first one is from RU Sigrid. I say RU, I sold her to a farm, a local farm, but I was able to buy the fleece back, which was pretty great. So I've got 2 skeins right now. They're really soft, and it's a 2-ply, like a sport weight hand spun. And I've got one, I think I might be able to make 1 more skein. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the shorter locks and I'm hand spinning those, but the longer ones I'm going to be making into bats. And it's super soft and crimpy. I don't have the micron data for this one because this is a fleece that I purchased. So I don't have the ewe here on the farm, so I wasn't able to get a sample from her. That's that. And then the next thing I'm making is I want to have a few skeins of this bulky yarn that I make from just spinning the really tightly coiled curly locks. And I want to make a couple of cakes with this and then offer this with a pattern for a very simple little watch cap. It's just really scruffy. So it's the curly locks, and I spin them without carding it or anything. Now the fleeces were coated and the fiber is washed, so it's nice and clean. And then I ply it with lace weight yarn, and it's actually the lace weight yarn that I made in one of my good of work videos when I was doing my lace experiment. So I just finished what I'm thinking. I gotta weigh this hat because this is actually the finished product, but I think I might have enough for a hat and a little bit more. And I'm thinking that I might be offering this for sale with this sort of as the example of what you can make. And I'll have to write up the pattern and probably upload that to Ravelry, but it's a really simple little cap. But honestly, it is so soft and squishy and warm. And I begrudgingly sold the one I had to a friend of mine who practically, I don't want to say she begged me to sell it to her, but I didn't really want to. But I think that, yeah, I think that this is kind of neat and different. And so I'm going to make it into a thing. This is wool from Marianne. Marianne was a fawn catnugget, and she had quite a little bit of dark, so you can see there's some random darkness in there. I actually just finished losing a game of yarn chicken, I think that's what people say. But this hat, the wool that I made from Blue Sapphire, and she's a gray cat mugget, and I applied it with some black fiber that Rich bought me from Jameson and Smith. Yarn, actually, it's lace weight yarn. So the composition is very chunky, bulky spin, and then plying it with a very, very fine to give it some structure. And it's working out great, and I love it, love it, love it. So yeah, so I'm gonna keep making this, and I am gonna put it into a cake because it's kind of tricky to work with like this. So that's what I'm doing hand spun wise for the festival. So this is my shipping table. So this is where I do all of my packaging and stuff. And I actually have a few, here's some stuff that I need to also list. I just noticed that, so add that to the list of Magic Craft supplies. But one thing I'm bringing to Rhinebeck that's new is a woman that I met at the Western, well, I've met her online, we've known each other for a bit, but met in person at the festival I did in the middle of September. And she makes paper crafts, and so she showed me the swatch books and swatch boxes, sample boxes that she's made, and I thought they were so fetching that I thought, you know, I'd really love to get a reaction from people at the Rhinebeck Festival. So she just sent these to me, and I haven't opened it yet, so I thought we could do an unboxing of these swatch books and stuff. So I have to list these still, and you know, create the labels and stuff. But I just thought it would be a really fun addition to the booth, and she sells these on her Etsy shop. But you know, at Rhinebeck, there's just so much opportunity for exposure. So I thought, I'll just make a little space in my booth for these. So she's got this nice write-up on what the Spinner's Journal, that's what she's calling it, the Spinner's Journal and the swatch box. And just sort of like a very nice personal reflection of, you know, the value of doing swatching and stuff. And so here they are. Oh, they're so nice. This, what is she calling it again? Spinner's Journal. And these are recycled bags that we talked about. So this is so cute. It says, it's like a Kai, I don't know, I'm so unsophisticated. But you can cut little slits in the cards and make notes and stuff for when you're trying out new fiber to make yarn. I've never had a spinner's journal, and I'm not really, it's not really my thing, but I get it, and I love little books and being organized and stuff. So each one is different, which is why it's also nice to do this at a live sale so that people can actually see and select from all the varieties. Pretty little vegetables on it. This one is sort of plain with kind of a bronzy purple binding. Oh, that's cool. So they're all kind of one of a kind, but they all have that same setup with the page and then the little flap for you to put your swatches in. All right, so this is the sample box. So it's Summerhill Spinner, Liza Jennings Signer. Summerhillspinner.etsy.com. It's all one word, and that's her, I think that's her only place where she sells stuff. She's also a writer. She contributes to a variety of spinning and fiber publications. Oh, look at this, how cute. And then little cards is where you write your notes. It says, what is a swatch box? A place to store swatches you have knitted or crocheted with cards to record the details such as yarn used, yarn size, needle size, gauge, unblocked and blocked, stitch pattern used, project you've made it for, source of your pattern, photos of the finished project. Let your imagination and inner organizer run free. Thank you for choosing this swatch box. Happy making. And then there's a little Velcro closure. And again, these are all one-of-a-kind designs. Green, pretty. I think these are going to be a big hit. Brown and I don't know, what do you guys think? Oh, I like that one. It's got like autumn leaves on it. That's a pretty motif. And then that vegetable. Just how cute they are. These are really nice. So yeah, it's excited to see kind of what kind of response they get. I also offer sheep needle felting kits, and this is what you get. You get this cute little lamb form. This one is a gray. So the color of the feet and the head are what determine the color, and then you take, you know, these little curly locks and you needle them into the form to make a sheep with a really cute fleece. And then I supply a little gold bell and a red bow, and that's the kit. So it's a nice introduction for somebody that's doesn't have a lot of experience with needle felting. And so I've got a gray sheep, and this one uses the gray bits of blue sapphire, because blue sapphire is a spotted ewe. So she's got some parts of her that are a nice gray color. And then whatever I don't use for the sheep kits, I'm gonna make up another skein of yarn for me to finish my hat. So I've got the gray, and then I have a moret lamb. I'm gonna have a few of these. Again, with moret feet, little moret head, the sweet little eyes, and a little smile. And that is gonna use curly bits from RU Isabel. So stuff that I didn't want to card just because it's so coiled and curly. And it makes a really cute fleece for a little felted lamb. And then I've got a little fawn one. I have a few more of the fawns to make. And the fawns will use fiber from RU Marianne. Curly bits from her. They're usually pretty short as well, which makes it perfect, and you just needle them into the form. And then I also make up a kit. Oh, here she is. For the Valois sheep. So that's a black feet, black ears, a broad black head, and then that uses white fiber, curly bits, to make a Valois sheep. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but they're super cute. And I'll put a picture here of a real sheep that this is modeled after, so you can see. They're super cute, and I just love them, so I thought I'd make a form from them. So I got a few more of these to make. So that's another thing I'm working on. Right now I'm working on this little fawn one. So I've created her feet, did this shaping so that it's like a little clover. And I got ears, and I have a face here somewhere. Hello. So that'll go on any random ball, doesn't really matter. I have a bag of balls over here, and attach all that stuff. So I do quite a bit of needling before it gets made into the kit, but it's fun for somebody, like I said, that's just starting out and wants to get the feel for needling into a form. So that's what's going on over in this little corner. So I kind of rotate projects as my hands get a little bit tired, because each of these require a little bit different motion. So I just think they're super cute. Little crooked face. just adorable. Okay, so I've got some stuff out here in the garage, and the only reason I still have it out here was because when I did the festival in mid-September, I just didn't want to have to bother taking everything downstairs. So I've got my box of recycled bags, my rack for my note cards, all of my hooks, and here's this is the mill spun yarn. So I've got I've got 5 shades. I've got fawn, gray, a little bit of white, a couple skeins of black, and morit here still. So those will just get loaded, and that's one of the nice things about being a wool vendor is that it squishes into the van really nice. And then here's just fiber I bring for people that are messing around with the wheels so they can try different kinds of fiber. And then I have the 5 wheels that are going to be coming with me. New wheels, new in boxes. Susie, Pioneer, Aura, Rose, and Little Gem. I have them under plastic, so sometimes when I open the garage door, it drips. Chairs are pulled out of the van. Got my chairs for the wheel spinners, if people want to sit and have a spin. Well, next thing I got to do here is I have to find some more fiber to wash because I'm feeling like I'm going to run out. Now, these are all small bags of stuff that I rooed in a hurry, so they're all kind of torn apart, so they're going to be ideal for comb top. But I think I have some actual fleeces. That is. I think this might be. Nope, that's rude. What is this? This might be brown neck wool. This looks pretty sheared. Koki. Okay, now she has a shorter fleece, but it's really fine. Ooh, I think I'm gonna wash this. Let's take a look. So yeah, so I didn't offer this as a raw fleece for 2 reasons. One is she had this kind of matting from the rise, and the other reason is the fleece was short. However, I think I'm going to wash this and use it for that textured yarn that I've been obsessed with. See, there's a big mat there. Now that piece isn't too bad. So there's some sections here that maybe I could make into roving. Okay, we're washing Koki. And I think that's pretty much the end of my stash of fleeces that I can turn into stuff. So that's pretty much everything that I'm working on right now. I'm going to have other stuff, very likely, but those are the things that I'm putting together right now. And you know, Rhinebeck, it's just such a great event. It's really exciting and fun, and a lot of the fun is the prep work and getting ready for it and stuff. And I wish I had more time out here with you guys, but so yeah, so thanks again for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I am going to be putting regular posts up from now until the show on Facebook and Instagram. So if you want to follow me or just kind of pay attention to my posts. Another thing I did want to mention is that I am a Shave 'em to Save 'em provider. So I will have the passport stickers at my booth. So if you buy 4 ounces or more of yarn, roving, comb top, then I can give you a passport sticker. So thanks again, and I hope if you do go to Rhinebeck that you do stop by and see me and get to have a nice visit, right? Okay, thanks a lot.